Hello everyone. I am Dr.Niraj Kinariwala. I am MDS endodontist and digital dentistry expert. You have been knowing me as director of Claronav School of Dentistry, Claronav University. We are based in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Today, in next 20 minutes, I'm going to share my journey in dentistry with you. I don't think I can teach anyone anything. Only thing what I can do is share my journey, my experiences, and maybe there can be something which may help you in your life. The journey of dentistry. Just like all of you, I never imagined that I will become a dentist. Majority of us, we start our journey with biology, we want to go into medical, and then we end up in dentistry. By chance, the way things go around, we all choose our profession. The way I had got admission in year 2006 in dentistry, those are also very difficult times. I have been studying in Gujarat in a regional medium, in Gujarati medium. So I'm a boy who has pursued entire schooling into regional language. And when I wanted to start my journey into medical science, dentistry, entire syllabus was in English. So that was the first obstacle what I stumbled upon. In today's session, along with my journey, I'm going to share how within last few years we have tried to shape up this particular college, Claronav School of Dentistry, and how we feel that we are making an impact, we are leaving a mark on the Indian dental landscape. Again, going back to year 2006, when I started my journey in dentistry, still I remember myself as an introvert guy with so much of stage fear. Every time when I used to walk in a classroom, being that introvert person, I used to think everyone is looking at me. Am I walking in the right direction? Am I looking fine? And from those days to these days, I owe each and everything in my life to dentistry. If I wouldn't have been a dentist, I really don't know what would I have become. I am a person who comes from middle class family. I don't have any of the medical background. I never had a direction in which way I want to go. In my undergraduation days, just like all of you, it was a normal life, trying to learn new science. But by the time I entered into my internship in year 2010, I was still pretty clueless. Whether to go for MBA, go abroad, or shall I pursue dentistry further? But internship was the time where actually I got really good exposure in Department of Endodontics. For all of us, internship is the time I think which leaves the great impact on the journey which you are going to choose. All the students out there, it's very important that during internship you don't take yourself lightly. This is the time where you should get focused, you should be spending some more time with patients and with yourself. You try and decide that which subject you feel you'd like to pursue. I liked endodontics, I liked oral surgery, just like all of us will have our own priorities and all our own preferences. I appeared for entrance exam, NEET. I pursued my masters into MDS. But when I look at myself, there was a major transformation in bachelor life and master's life. I believe what I have experienced is that masters, when you pursue MDS, you are just not pursuing another subject. You actually learn how to deal with people. You actually learn how to deal with patients. And that's what we all should be utilizing our time for. Those 3 years, they have made amazing impact in my journey. If today I am known as a good orator, a good clinician, and sometimes End of the day, you have to be a good human being. All these values you can inculcate into your life during your masters. Choose your branch wisely. I knew that every morning I can wake up as an endodontist and I will have no regret. Because end of the day, I knew it is not only about root canals. We are also dealing with smile designing, making patients smile, saving the hopeless teeth. And end of the day, hope is a very major factor. If you can give someone hope, nothing better than that. And that's what endodontists bring on the table. They try to save hopeless teeth as well. Those were the days from 2012 to 2015 where implantology was also progressing worldwide, and again in India there was a major wave towards implant journey. I always felt that the science of endodontics is not getting that much traction. People are getting much more motivated towards removing the teeth, not making enough efforts to save the teeth. From my seniors, I have been advised, what? Do you want to become endodontist? Don't do that. Ortho is the branch. Become orthodontist, you'll make good money. If you become endodontist, you will be a laborer. You will be doing labor entire day and just earning few pennies. And these are the days where proudly, whenever I'm doing my digitally driven, dynamic endodontic surgeries, I'm charging to my patients equivalent or sometimes more than implant as well. And that's the difference what I see in today's dentistry if you're really working in urban area. If you are working in rural area but still you have that patient clientele who are willing to spend some money to save teeth. If you have those educated patients who really want to save the teeth at any cost, this is the branch in which you should be. At the same time, you can just be a general practitioner. You don't even need to pursue masters, but at the same time, you need to attend few more programs where you learn how to manage your clinic, because practice management is very much important. But at the same time, you can enhance your skills on endodontics, implantology, prosthodontics, and become a good clinician. Today, when we look around, in majority of the cities, the best implantologists are not oral surgeons. The successful implantologist can be even just BDS or just oral pathologist, and still they are doing wonders in their careers and in their lives. So end of the day, it's your talent, your passion, what you try to pursue. Going back to my journey, when I pursued my master's, my major inclination was for endodontic surgeries. I still fondly remember that I was told my head of the department that, we are endodontists, we are not surgeons. We had a fixed criteria, only anterior surgeries we are supposed to do. When we do anterior surgeries, there was again a quota. A PG student should be doing 3 surgeries in their PG life. Eventually, they said, okay, you can do up to 5. Luckily, in my final year, my PG guide went on a break to USA. And in those 3 months, I actually completed more than 25 surgeries, not only anterior, even lower molar, upper molar. I tried to pursue everything that I actually wanted to. And again, let me remind you, we did not have a dental microscope into our department. When I talk about being endodontist, in today's time, if you really want to practice abroad, if you want to practice in Middle East and if you're not an endodontist, you're not using microscope, you are not considered as an endodontist. Okay. In today's time, if you want to be recognized as an endodontist, magnification is something that you should be easily able to work with. If you don't use it, you're not an endodontist. This is the time where now we want to be micro-endodontist. So first thing that I did after completing my master's is that I looked for a clinic space. Again, with humble beginnings, I did not have my father backing me up, giving me all the money for the clinic. I tried to approach one of the eye hospital in the city. Okay. We have a very famous road in Ahmedabad called IIM Road, because IIM Ahmedabad has all the reputation. People recognize just by the name of that institute in that entire area. So I found out within couple of months of completing my masters that there is a place where they have constructed one extra floor. So I simply approached that guy. I went to that ophthalmologist and gave him my business proposal. I told him, boss, I'm going to invest 25%. You invest 75% because it is your premises. It doesn't belong to me. Definitely being good Jew, he asked, how will you share profit? Or will you give me enough rent? Because it's a posh locality. I said, sir, we can always share 50-50. He was like, are you crazy? Are you sure? Will you be sharing 50% profit with me? I said, yes. Because I always wanted to start my practice into a good locality, good premises, already a place where ophthalmology is practicing for last 25 years. So imagine the number of footfalls which that place will have. And that's how I started my journey. I remember I invested 2,75,000 rupees for my first clinic. But the major investment that I made was in my dental operating microscope. I had made sure that I invest my own money into microscope. So when I have to move out of that practice, at least I will take away the prized possession. For me, a person who was driving I-20 for last 10 years, I had an opportunity. Either I can take up a loan for a new car, or I can take up a loan for a good microscope. And today, when I look back, I really feel happy that I invested that money to buy a microscope. And that microscope, I used to spend all the time in my initial days. Even if anyone comes to me for a simple class 1 composite restoration, I will take out a microscope, spend some good time with it. I started my journey with just dental cleaning with microscope because I wanted to learn ergonomics, how to use microscope, what should be my position when I'm working with it. And after spending 1 year and 1 2-day program, I always try to take any of the CD lectures outside my state. Because I always feel that in state everyone is doing somewhat similar thing. If I go out of my place, maybe I'll be able to learn something new. And after doing that, the same company which had sold me the microscope made me their KOL. And from those days to this day, that German company I'm still attached to. And these are the days where even that company is developing any new product, they want to do some market trials, they will reach out to me. And I'll be giving my inputs how to make it better. My point is, try to use all the resources that you can. But end of the day, it's your choice. How you invest your money, how you invest your time. Your choices are going to define you one day. You don't make your choices. Your choices make you in your life. Following that, I have always been a digital guy. In my PG days, I developed passion for digitalization because my institute had got a CBCT machine. CBCT opened the third dimension for me. When in endodontics, we used to look at root canals in 2 dimension. It really opened my eyes at how vast this science is and how beautiful anatomies are created. God's beautiful creation, each and every tooth, different anatomy, small intricacies, and how we can play with them. One of my friend used to own CBCT center. So during the noon time, I started spending some time at a CBCT center, and that guy had started making static guide for implants. Being an endodontist, I thought, okay, if you're using it for implantology, why don't we use it for endodontics? That was in 2016-17. I got few cases of calcified canals. And in calcified canal cases, I thought I can apply the same science of guided implantology. I remember in 2017, I tried initial 5 to 6 cases. I tried to do good documentation. At that point of time, I had already joined at this particular institute, Claronav School of Dentistry, as a senior lecturer. I showed my cases to my head of the department. She really liked them. And she told me, why don't you teach that to our PG students? As a senior lecturer, I was not granted initially to even enter into PG clinic. Only professors were handling PG students. But this opened another door for me. And when I entered into PG clinic, I got access to more and more cases of calcified canals. I also believe in luck. I believe each one of us is talented. If we are not born talented, we will acquire our talent eventually. All of us are doing enough hard work in our life. But we all need that one shot of luck in life. That happened to me. Those were the days of Facebook. I was scrolling through Facebook one evening and one small advertisement pop up. First time in Asia, Cons Asia Conference, Sharjah. I clicked on that pop up. It took me to a website and I realized a new conference is coming up in Sharjah University. It is called Cons Asia 2018. They were asking for abstract submission worldwide, and if your abstract is getting selected, 3 people will be invited for presentation in Sharjah. I don't know what got through me, what did I think at that point of time, but I just made one abstract. I had few of my cases which I had presented to my HOD, and I just submitted everything online. Within 2 weeks, I'm getting a mail. You are invited to Sharjah University as a speaker for this topic. And that's how my international journey started. Even today when I talk about it, I'm getting goosebumps. When I went there to Sharjah, first time my visas were sponsored by a university. Okay, I entered to Sharjah University. I realized it's a very conservative place. Dubai is a very modern area. In Sharjah, even liquor is banned. But they are very high on academics. I had my talk in the noon session. When I was delivering my session during the noon time, I was given a slot of 40 minutes. I remember I had audience of more than 250 to 300 participants. And after my session, I can still hear the claps which I got during that time. But again, there was a twist. I was happy with my session. But we all have moderators who are moderating your session. And that session was moderated by another head of the department of Sharjah University. With all due respect, he was one European colleague. And he really didn't like my concept. When you try to do something new in your life, you will always have obstacles. You will always come across people who are not open, who are not willing to accept the change. His argument to me was, why are you talking about 3D printing in endodontics? What is the need? I've been practicing dentistry for 32 years and all I need is my hand skill, my brain, and now my microscope. He was a senior guy and it was my first time out of India. I did not even argue with him. I nodded my head and just walked out of that area. Now, as I mentioned, in Sharjah, liquor is not available. Even they don't serve tea or coffee during the conferences. All they serve is apple juice. That's what I remember. On my way out, I was just grabbing a glass of apple juice. And there was one person tapping on my shoulder. And he told me, boss, your lecture was good. I turn around, dark-skinned guy in his 50s, 60s. And he tells me, you know what? I'm at Sharjah University as an employee for last 4 years, but I know if you are Indian, if you are Sri Lankan, racism is real. There are few countries where you won't be accepted right away. Just because we are Indians, people will not accept our concept right away. You need to make them believe. It can take a longer time. Come to my cabin. I followed him to his cabin, and he was vice dean of the university. His name was Professor Lakshman Samaranayake. People who are into field of dentistry, people who read the books of oral microbiology. He is the father of oral microbiology. The first article about Candida albicans in dentistry was written by him in year 1960. The first textbook was written by him. He has been publishing more than 9 editions of a textbook of oral microbiology. And I'm sitting with that guy. Professor Sam, that's how he asked me to address him. So till date I call him Professor Sam. Now sir is 72. And now he's serving as Professor Emeritus at Hong Kong University. And let me tell you, before I go on to my journey, Hong Kong University has been one of the topmost leading university in the world. And it was during tenure of this guy. He was Dean of Hong Kong University for 10 years. And then he shifted to Sharjah University. And that's where he motivated me that, boss, your science is good. Why don't you write a book on it? And that's where I got an idea that actually I can write a book on guided endodontics. People don't know this science because they have not read about it. I asked him, sir, will you mentor me? Because I don't have any background in book writing. I'm coming here just to deliver a session. I don't even know how to write a book or how to get started, how to go to a publisher. I don't know. And he said, I'm with you. You submit a proposal. And that's how my journey started for guided endodontics. In year 2018, I started writing my book on guided endodontics. Eventually, Springer Publishing House, Switzerland, accepted my proposal. It took me hard work of 3.5 years. And year 2020-21, book got published worldwide. Today, in year 2025, December, this book is in more than 200 universities across the globe. If I just talk about statistics, that book has made more than 4,50,000 Indian rupees. And trust me, it is not about money. I never thought that a piece of paper or the science which I really like to pursue, I'm passionate about, will lead to some money making as well. So that was my start of journey with guided endodontics. At the same time, my father has been a social worker. He used to run an NGO for underprivileged people in Ahmedabad. Till date, he doesn't know whether his son is endodontist or implantologist. All he knows is that his son knows how to treat teeth of the patients. He never got actually inclined into what I'm doing, how I'm doing. But your sense of recognition will only come where a family will recognize what you are doing. Your inner circle, your people. In year 2022, I got a call from IIM Delhi. Can you come and teach our faculty and students how to use dynamic navigation system? When I say guided endodontics, I started from 3D printing, but then I jumped towards dynamic navigation in year 2019. That was the time when I could see shine in eyes of my father. He told me, are you going to Delhi? Delhi AIMS. And that's when I realized that now I'm doing something good, which really matters. After 2017, guided endodontics, 3D printing, my journey was still there because I was doing more and more cases of static navigation. I realized what are the limitations of this science. I couldn't use it in posterior teeth. It was always dry cutting. It was more time consuming. So I was going online that what is next? Where can I excel beyond static navigation? And I came across a word called dynamic navigation. And again, it was only used for implantology. Online, I searched, there was one company who was making this machine in USA. I just typed a mail to them and they arranged a Zoom meeting for me. I had one meeting of 90 minutes with those guys. Eventually, those guys sold that company to Noble Biocare. And what machine right now they are selling, it is called XNev. But at that point of time, the name was different. After the entire conversation of 90 minutes, I asked them only one question. Is there any competitor? And they told me, yes, there is one company from Canada. And now I'm curious for that company because I tried to look for the second company. It was much cost effective, better, and more ergonomically usable. So I again tried to pursue the second company. The second company was from Canada and those guys were not responding to my mail. So I went to LinkedIn, found out who is the vice president or the president of the company. I tried to find them on Facebook. I started following them. Even on birthday of the son or daughter, I'll write happy birthday. Because sometimes you need to knock on the door till the time the door is open. And that's what I started doing, knocking on the doors. I knew I want to enter into dynamic navigation because I'm doing 3D printing, but it has its own limitation. How can I go further? One fine day, that guy again responded. We had some Zoom calls, meetings. Interestingly, he told me, we are not open for Indian market. We are not having any distributor. And in India, one thing always works, and that is called jugaad. So I said, okay, I can be a distributor. Why not? It's like, do you have any company? I said, yes. One of my friends is having a company, and we can always import the machine. And that's how I convinced him, and I bought my first dynamic navigation system. It was year 2018 where I started the conversation. In 2019, it was delivered. And that's how I became the first person officially importing dynamic navigation system in India. And that company is called Claronav Navident. 2019, it was not having FDA clearance for endodontics. I started doing endo cases with that machine. When I was publishing my book, I asked the company, can I use all the data? And they said, yes, but don't use the company name because we are not having approval yet. By the time the book was released, they also got FDA approval. And today, not only in India, but globally, I am their KOL for teaching guided endodontics with dynamic navigation, which is semi-robotic technology. So that's how life-changing experiences I have been through. In 2022, I got a better role at the university, looking at my work. And I opened another department called Center of Dental Excellence. I always thought that in 2006, when I joined this institute, Dental Council of India had the same curriculum. In year 2022-23, still we are teaching the same to our students. We all know how life has changed, how digitalization transformed everything around us. Why can't we do something which can really add value to students' life? Why can't we teach them and make them market ready? And with that thought process, we started a department of Center of Dental Excellence where we started incorporating intraoral scanning, 3D printing, CAD CAM, face scanning, everything under one roof. Today I can proudly say that within the last 2.5 years, with help of good mentors, my friends and supporters, we have been running successfully fellowship in digital dentistry. Now when I talk about fellowship in digital dentistry, Dr. Shiva Shankar, the biggest name in prosthodontics, has been very integral part. I always believe in miracles, and again that was a miracle when he instantly agreed to support me with my vision. We have got associated with many digital dentistry unions, societies, and we try to give unbiased knowledge on digital dentistry. Because what I feel, whether it is endodontics or digital dentistry, all the knowledge that we dentists are getting is company driven. It is not science driven. We all know how to use putty impression alginate materials because we have studied about them. But intraoral scanning, it is not part of our curriculum. So all the knowledge that you are getting is through the company. At the same time, what social media has done, it has become double-edged sword. You get information, but do you know, is it scientifically proven or it is just an opinion of someone? So I am a firm believer of evidence-based dentistry, and I'm utilizing my position as an academician to promote and propagate evidence-based dentistry amongst clinicians. Today, we have completed 4 batches in fellowship in digital dentistry successfully. By end of this session, all I want to say is that every individual is unique. We all have hidden talents, just like the root canals which are hidden within the bone. You just need to take that one leap of faith. Try to believe in yourself, your dreams, and pursue them. You never know when miracle happens and you really achieve more than what you expect. Thank you, everyone.